Welcome back to ExplorARTION. This time, we explore the legendary Vincent van Gogh and his living legacy. Our question, is Van Gogh alive? Yes, because his works and letters have long outlived his flesh, eventually becoming admired by millions at Vincent's very own museum that breathes dreams, troubles, and above all, life. Growing up, did you dream of doing anything in particular? And how has it changed over time? A young boy named Vincent from the Netherlands doesn't really have any dreams. He draws from time to time and decides to quit school at the age of 16. His first job is a trainee at an art dealer in The Hague. Around this time, he begins writing regularly to his younger brother Theo, who works for the same company in Brussels. When he is 20 years old, Vincent is transferred to London, still without a direction in life. There, he visits the British Museum and the National Gallery, admiring the works of peasant painters such as Francois Millet, and reading extensively from magazines to poetry. Vincent is dismissed by the dealer 3 years later, however, when he becomes less interested in his job. He goes on to be teaching and preaching for a few years, both of which fail to sustain. Have you ever had the chance of meeting someone so inspiring that you realize your dreams? For Vincent, that person is Theo. In his letters to Theo, Vincent often includes little sketches and sometimes drawings of what he sees. Therefore, Theo encourages his older brother to take up professional drawing and supports an unemployed Vincent financially. It is not until his 27th that Vincent van Gogh discovers his dream of being an artist at last, a decision that has changed his life and the course of art history forever. With great passion, nonetheless, comes grave pain. While his parents never approve of their son's artist dream, Van Gogh continues to hone his painting skills in the Netherlands, Belgium, and France. 33-year-old Van Gogh arrives in Paris to find Theo, who has become an art dealing manager there. Theo introduces his brother to the colorful and popular works of modern artists like Claude Monet, which inspire Van Gogh to gradually replace darker tones in his earlier paintings with brighter colors. The brothers also encounter Japanese woodcuts, whose unique landscapes soon draw Van Gogh away from Paris to Provence in southern France. 35 by now, Van Gogh has a fresh dream of working with different artists on the same roof. The only other resident of Van Gogh's yellow house is Paul Gauguin. Despite achieving some exceptional collaborations together, the two different characters often argue seriously. In late December, when Gauguin threatens to leave the studio, Van Gogh breaks down, slices off his own ear that night, although Van Gogh continues drawing after the incident and a short-lived dream. His fear of fluctuating mental health causes him to be admitted voluntarily to a psychiatric hospital. Van Gogh stays in the hospital for a year, creating some of his most famous artworks while struggling with mental health. He works productively indoors and outdoors, resulting in his best-known painting, The Starry Night, among many others. In a letter to his mother, Van Gogh notes that he often thinks about his deceased father, revealing his deep emotions for them in spite of their rocky relationship. Contrary to popular belief, Van Gogh's works do receive positive attention and appreciation in his lifetime, including from his one-time housemate, Gauguin, when they are shown in Paris. Can an illness in the head be ever fully cured? When he leaves the mental hospital at 37, Van Gogh is once again triggered by a financially insecure future, notwithstanding his brother's reassurance. On the 27th of July, 1890, Vincent took his own life with a pistol in a wheat field. Yet, the life of Van Gogh really begins and well continues after his death. 6 weeks later, Theo organizes a memorial exhibition of his brother's works. He himself dies in January 1891, barely half a year following Vincent's passing. Jo van Gogh Bonga, Theo's widow, continues to take care of the brothers' art collection. She seeks to raise public awareness of Vincent's paintings by such means as art exhibition loans to museums around the world. As a result, buyers emerged for the works of Van Gogh steadily. Remember the correspondence between the brothers too? In 1914, Joe also publishes the first edition of Vincent's letters to Theo. Vincent William van Gogh, engineer and son of Joe and Theo, inherits the increasingly appreciated art collection from his mother after her death in 1925. 1930 onwards, there have been growing calls for placing Vincent's collection in a dedicated museum. What would you do if you were the painter's nephew? In 1962, Vincent the engineer agrees to work with the state of Netherlands by setting up the Vincent van Gogh Foundation and building the Van Gogh Museum. In 1973, when the artist would have been 120 years old, the Van Gogh Museum is opened by Queen Juliana. Today, about 2 million visitors come to marvel at the works of Vincent every year. So, is Van Gogh alive? Yes, the Dutch master is certainly more alive than ever, with his family's continuous care for the collection over the years. That way, Vincent is simply timeless. He lives on as his artworks do.